What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be testing out 5 of the most popular AI features that have been incorporated into Adobe Illustrator and see if they can help us fashion designers in any way. So there are some pretty cool things that you can do today, like simply type in a prompt and generate an entire graphic from scratch. We can also now create full repeat patterns from scratch like this and this and this. You can also easily recolor your sketches into different colors like this and create some pretty realistic garment mockups like this. Anyway, I'm gonna run through everything that you need to know in fashion design so that you don't get left behind in the age of AI. Let's get started. AI feature 1, the contextual task bar. Most of you already know about the contextual task bar, but if not, then man is this video important for you. I've opened up a regular artboard on what is the latest version of Illustrator, and you might already have your contextual task bar showing on the screen. But in case it is missing, like it is for me right now, then come up here to Window and simply select it here. And this is what it looks like, guys. Such a tiny thing. Now, what exactly is it? It is a toolbar that will display only the tools and options that are most necessary for whatever you are doing at the moment. So that you don't have to go search through all the menus on the left and on the right and on top. The tools you need will simply appear here because Illustrator knows that this tool is most likely what you're gonna use next. By default, it's gonna say draw pencil and generate vectors, but let's actually do something. Maybe let's draw something and see it pull up the tools that we need. Before I begin, let's move the contextual taskbar to the side. You can click on it at the side here and drag it around. I'm going to move mine to the top corner here. Now I'm going to hit P on my keyboard to bring up the pen tool, and because we are fashion designers, let's draw a quick half pattern of a t-shirt like so. Now click your selection tool for your contextual taskbar to appear, and it basically shows up looking different from how we first saw it. And this is because the options have now changed into the tools that it thinks you will need next. So first up is an option called Generative Shape Fill. We're gonna come to this in a second, but next to it is Edit Path. If I click on it, we have a new set of editing tools that crop up, and what do you know? My mouse has also automatically switched to the direct selection tool. Now let's say I want to remove this anchor point. I can click on it and my remove anchor point tool is right here. I don't have to come to my toolbar here and then right click and find the delete anchor point tool. Instead, it's right there in my contextual taskbar. Let's undo this move and try the other tools. Let's say that I want to cut the path of my pattern at that same anchor point. I can simply click here, and as you can see, the path has cut. You also have a button to convert the anchor point to a corner. Our anchor point already is a corner, so we don't need that. But next to that, we have the option to do the opposite, and that is to convert the anchor point to smooth, which means it will round out a corner. So the point of the contextual taskbar is so that you have a bunch of tools placed in an easy access manner to save you time and make life easier for you. Let me give you one more example of how the contextual taskbar adapts itself to whatever you are doing. Let's say you went ahead and drew a t-shirt like this, and let's create some typography on the chest. I'm going to hit T on my keyboard to bring up my type tool. The minute I click, the contextual taskbar appears with font options, font style options, font size options, etc. Let's type something, say smooth like butter. Whoa, I must be missing BTS a lot. Ding dong! Now use the tools up here to edit the font, the size. The area type tool is here as well. We also have outline text right here. You can also change the font color, and I mean, how cool is that? So you probably have a very good idea of how the contextual taskbar works now. This is what it looks like by default, and in AI feature number 2, we're gonna look at what Generate Vectors does. It's as exciting as it sounds, guys, so let's jump right in and click on it. So this table will open up. At the top, you have a blank white space where you can type in a prompt. A prompt? What is a prompt, Christina? Well, a prompt is basically instructions that you give your computer, telling it exactly what kind of vector graphic you want it to generate. It's kind of like a genie that grants wishes. Your prompt can simply say, a cat. Or your prompt can be complex and say, a cute cartoon cat wearing sunglasses and a bikini lying in a field of catnip. We also have a few more interesting features below to help Illustrator generate exactly what you are looking for. Under Content Type, you can see Scene, Subject, and Icon. Click on Scene if you want an artwork that represents a full composition or environment, like landscapes, a forest, a beach, kinda like these examples shown here. Click on Subject if you want to create a single main object or element, like a person, an animal, a product, kinda like these images shown here. Click on Icon if you just need simple, symbolic, small-scale graphics like logos, where clean, precise shapes and scalability are important, like the examples shown here. You can also pick the level of detail that you want because not every graphic has to be complex. Go for low detail for simpler artworks and high detail for more complex sceneries where you want to show textures and depth and shadows, capturing realism. Now, style reference here allows you to pick an existing graphic or photograph for Illustrator to refer to while it generates its vector. It's like saying, hey, here is a photo that I really like. Please generate something that is in the same style. Now, under Effects, you have a few types of vectors that you can ask for, and under Color and Tone, you have the option of really specifying which colors you want to see in your graphic. For now, I'm going to click on Scene, increase my detail level, and type in a prompt. I'm going to say a street full of shops at midnight in Tokyo, glowing neon with signs and streetlights in the dark. Once you are done, hit Generate. And here's what Illustrator gives us after about 30 seconds, popping up from our Properties panel. You'll see that Illustrator actually has generated 3 options or variations for us. Simply click on the next one and it appears on your screen. If by any chance you want to see more variations, you can come here and click Generate again, and we now have 6 options in our Properties panel. Now, if there is a particular graphic that you like and you want to see similar options like it, click on the 3 dots here, choose Generate Similar. Now, apart from this, you have a bunch of our usual Illustrator tools like Transform, Appearance, Align, etc. that are up here, but they're also listed below here for easy access. Now let's look at the generated graphic itself. I'm going to say that it is not great, but it is also not awful. If you zoom in, you can see that it's really missing a ton of detail, and this is the usual complaint that most people who use this feature have, the lack of clarity. The palette is beautiful and close to what I was going for, but if you ask me, Christina, would you use this as a graphic on a graphic t-shirt? That would be a no. What I would do is see if I can make it better by adding something else to it. This looks like it needs a strong, clear subject at the center to make sense of an incoherent background. So I'm going to go back to the Generate Vector button on my contextual taskbar, and this time I'm going to change to Subject, and in my prompt I'm going to type in a cute puppy jumping into the air. I'm also going to increase the level of detail, and because I want my subject to fit into this existing graphic, I'm going to use the Style Reference feature, which I mentioned before and is a very cool feature, you guys. This feature basically allows you to copy the visual style of one artwork into another. So I'm going to click on Choose Asset to pick the artwork that my next graphic should look like. And when my mouse turns into the eyedropper tool, I'm going to click on our existing graphic. It will now show up here as the Style Reference. Oh, and just make sure to go back and choose Subject, as sometimes the setting switches back to Scene. Now hit Generate. And that actually looks pretty cool, guys. It even makes the background graphic look so much better. We have 3 options like usual that have been generated, and I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna isolate it to edit it because it came with bits of a background which I don't need. And yep, I like how this looks. Now, what I have noticed after months and months of using this tool is that graphics generated under Subject have usually turned out better than the ones generated under Scene. The Subject graphic is still missing details a bit and just overall clarity, but it turned out so much better than the Scene graphic. Now, would I use this entire thing as a graphic in clothes that I design? Still no. It needs to be cleaned up. But after that, yes, I totally would. For now, for fun, let's go add it to a t-shirt and see what it looks like. I'm going to group this together, drop in a t-shirt silhouette, and add my graphic onto it like so. And there you go. Now, I am hoping that a year from now, Illustrator will develop these AI features to a level where they are perfectly detailed and cohesive graphics. But for now, what I would do is simply use the Generate Vector tool as a way to generate ideas. If I ever feel like I'm having a creative block, this would be a good place to come and find inspiration. Of course, you can go in and edit all the shapes to make it clearer. So that is another option for you as well if you think you have the time. Now, I want to quickly mention that if you guys ever need to generate a graphic or a pattern that is a very specific size, then you can simply just draw out a rectangle like so in the exact size that you want. Then go ahead and generate your graphic by typing in your prompt like usual. Your generated graphic will fit into this shape exactly. If you also come up here to transform, you can even list the dimension that you need, for example, 11 inches by 8 inches, and then generate a graphic that is true to that size. Now, with regards to generate shape fill, it is almost the same as generate vectors, except the graphic generated will fully fill the shape. Similarly, you can draw any shape, a circle or a star or anything, and generate shapes within that. You can also draw out multiple specific shapes like this. Then type in a prompt and the AI will generate graphics that fill those shapes. Use this if you already know exactly what kind of graphic you need, so then the AI can help you complete it. Now, AI feature 3 is again in the contextual taskbar, except we're going to use it to try and generate a seamless repeat pattern. So let's draw out a rectangle like so. This will be my tile and should ideally be what repeats to create a seamless repeat pattern. Now you can type in your prompt under either generate vector or generate shape fill. I'm going to try generate shape fill just because it's a bit more tuned to filling a specific shape. Let's try typing ditzy floral print and see what we get. And this is pretty cute, you guys. This first option even looks like it's kind of been adjusted into a seamless repeat tile, looking at how the motifs are arranged at the sides and the corners. Interesting. Again, we have 3 options. Okay, I like this one best. And on zooming in, you can see that it is again missing some clarity and detail, just like the previous vectors generated. But this one is nothing that we can't fix. I'm also curious to see how accurately this can be put into an actual seamless repeat if we need to use it on clothing. So I'm going to open my swatches panel, resize my tile a bit, then drag and drop it into my panel. You can see it appear here. Let me delete the OG swatch, then draw a large rectangle like so, and click on the swatch to add it to my rectangle. And this is what it looks like. It is not a completely seamless pattern, unfortunately, because we have these white spaces in between. However, this is easily fixable, so let's try fixing it. I'm going to create a new artboard, drag and drop my original tile onto it, and then while it is highlighted, I'm going to go to Object, Pattern, Make. And with that, you have now entered Adobe Illustrator's pattern creation tool. Things from here are super simple. A boundary has appeared around my OG artwork tile, and what you see around it in a muted or dim way is the artwork tile repeated to form a pattern. What's cool is that any changes made to the current artwork tile will reflect on all the tiles, and in this way you get a really good idea of what your final pattern could look like. For example, let's zoom in, and this flower motif here is touching this leaf. So I'm going to resize the flower and shift it a little to place it better. And as you can see, the same change applied to all the repeats around my main artwork tile. In this way, I'm going to slowly fill up the white gaps between the repeats to make it more seamless. I'm resizing some motifs, copy-pasting new motifs, and shifting them around. And once I am finished, I'm going to come up here and hit Done. And with that, you exit Illustrator's pattern creation window. and your new pattern gets saved here in your swatches panel. Okay, great. Let me take us back to the original pattern. If I click on it and open my swatches panel, we can see that the original artwork was saved here, but next to it is a swatch of the new edited version that got saved here when we hit done. I'm going to click on it to add it to our rectangle, and that looks so much better and a lot more seamless. So I'm going to say that while you can generate patterns that are not perfectly seamless through this AI feature, it is easily fixable if you are willing to spend some time correcting it. Let's go put it on a garment. So this is a sweater silhouette that I taught you guys how to draw a few videos ago. If you want to know how to draw it, I will link the tutorial above and in the description below. Now let's add the print in. And there you go. Honestly, that is quite cute. Now, would I use it in a collection? Yes, I would. I do think that Illustrator's vector generating features work best when you ask for something simple like this. So this is definitely a yes as a fashion designer. And that takes us to AI feature 4, Generative Recolor. This one is not related to the contextual taskbar, guys, so we won't be using it here. Instead, I'm going to paste one of the sketches that I taught you guys to draw a few videos ago, this cool 𝐀𝐻𝐭 varsity jacket. If you would like to learn how to draw this, I will link it above and in the description below. So to use Generative Recolor, what you need to do is first highlight your sketch, then come up here to Edit, Edit Colors, Generative Recolor. When this table opens up, once again, you have a box where you can type in a prompt describing the color palette that you want. Illustrator also has a few default prompts that you can use. I'm going to test out Terracotta Desert, for example. So click on it and hit Generate. And 4 options or variations in this palette have appeared below. And these look pretty good. Let's test out one more of Illustrator's prompts. So close your variations by clicking here, then open Sample Prompts. And let's try Salmon Sushi. And there we go, 4 more options. If you scroll down, you can see your previous options here as well. Let's also test out our own prompt. So I'm gonna try Loud Psychedelia. And whoa, this looks a bit crazy, but I asked for it and you guys get the point. So if at all you happen to get a bunch of colors that you're not happy with, like what just happened to me, you can come here and click the plus icon, then add in the colors that you want, and Illustrator will create a palette around that. So these turned out pretty good, you guys. I like these. And the age-old question, would I use it as a fashion designer? Yes, I would. This is the type of feature that could save me so much time, especially if I have to create multiple colorways for one style. Oh, yes. And last but not the least, let's move to AI feature number 5, which is testing the mockup function. So basically, when you apply vector art onto a raster object, Illustrator lets you create a pretty realistic mockup. I have this photograph of a t-shirt that I got from mockupnest.com. I will link it below if you guys want to use the same thing. And I am dropping onto it a graphic that you guys saw me create a while ago in this video. Again, I will link the tutorial above and in the comments below. Now all you have to do is highlight the photo and your graphic, right-click, go to Mockup and create Mockup. In a minute, you get this result. And as you can see, the graphic has sort of morphed or warped itself to fit on the t-shirt below. Now, in order to make this look more realistic, I'm going to change my graphics transparency mode to multiply. So with the direct selection tool, click on the graphic. And like always, my contextual taskbar knows exactly what I'm going to do next. You can either change your transparency mode here, or do it the traditional way by clicking here and changing it from normal to multiply. Putting it in multiply will basically allow your graphic to show the shadows of the t-shirt below on it. And how amazing is this, you guys? I think this feature is pretty cool and turned out very realistic. Now, in case you guys are thinking about an all-over pattern, instead of just a chest graphic like this one, I would not even give it a shot because every time I tried it, even on simple silhouettes like this one, it never worked well. Here is an example of what today's experiment looked like. Yup, that is a no from me. So would I use this tool as a fashion designer? Yes, absolutely, but only for placement prints and simple graphics. If I am working on a project and I need to quickly show my boss what the final garment will look like, this is the tool that I will be running to. If you are working on a fashion design portfolio, you don't have to stitch and actually create a garment with your graphic printed on it. Instead, save your money and just use this tool to create a mockup. So that is all for today, you guys. As always, I hope this was useful. Let me know in the comments below if you try these tools and what you think about them. I will see you in my next video.